Roofing is with me here, and always appreciate his time with us here in the studio. How you doing this morning, Chris?
Good. How about you guys? How about yourself?
Good. You're a turkey fryer, huh?
Yes, I'm a turkey fryer.
And I
yes.
see that you don't have any third-degree burn marks on your arms or fingers.
And the house is still standing,
which means you have a clue.
Right, and nobody's dead, so we're all good.
Hey, nice.
I'm sorry. I know this sounds terrible, but I very much enjoyed watching the little clips on YouTube of people dropping frozen turkeys into into hot boiling oil. So apparently they flunked science class.
Yeah, my favorite is when they put it in the oil and they cut instantly to just them cutting into this really crispy black turkey.
But I got to try it some year because I hear it's just like nothing you've ever eaten before.
Really
it's juicy and crispy at the same time. And what's it take, like an average turkey, 40 minutes or 30 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
God, there you go.
See?
Yeah.
You truly could get out of bed late on Turkey Day and still have a great turkey.
You can.
Plus, it's a man thing. You can all stand out in the backyard and have a beer around open flame. It's
honey, the turkey be ready in a little bit. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're all needed out here in case
exactly.
Yeah. So. Anyhow, hey, listen, something I hadn't thought about in all the time you've been here. I told you a family member bought a house, and there were all kinds of gadgets, switches and dials and push buttons out by the electrical panel, and she didn't realize, or nobody really thought about to say, those are all for your solar panels. Not knowing how to use it, not knowing if the panels were producing, none of that. And even with the, I know there's a lot of great home inspectors out there, but even with the home inspector, there was no real information on that stuff. You should be one of the calls they make before they sign the escrow papers, shouldn't they?
100%. We have a home inspection for roofing and solar. So a lot of inspectors will not go onto the roof, and they'll actually disclaim in their thing that could access it. They could break tiles, right? Yeah. It is dangerous. It's for professionals only, and they are to an extent. But they usually say no. It looks good, but get a professional to look at it.
So and so you go out there, you look. In most cases, I realize you can't, but there's probably all kinds of systems out there because when this was new, when this industry was new, it was like the Wild Wild West. Everybody was doing
standardized
something.
anything.
I see setups that look so different from house to house. In most cases, can you work with somebody and say, okay, this is a such and such, and here's how it operates, but it's not as efficient as this, and we
can get some of the basic components, and there will be some sort of monitoring or some sort of, like, the newer systems have really nice apps, and you go online and you see how much your panels. Some of the older systems, all you got is an inverter on the side, and it'll give you some information, but not as much as an app. So, but we do removal and replacements all the time where people were doing a new re-roof and we got to remove the system, and we go to look at the system and half of it's working. The people don't even know,
right? Especially
if there's a second owners and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
and you were talking about the older panels not being as efficient as the newer panels.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, does it in most cases, if somebody's got an older system like that, does it behoove them in today's rate structure and all that to update and change it?
Possible. Again, like I've talked about a lot, you got to assess the whole situation, right? Where are your bills at? What is your system? Yeah. What is your usage? And sit down and it's kind of, if you need a new roof, it's pretty straightforward. I need a new roof. Solar is a little bit, because we want to get a good ROI, return on investment, right? And that takes a little bit of investigation and figuring it all out.
And they're not easily interchangeable either. You may have, for conversation's sake, you may have 10 panels on your roof, and 4 of them aren't working properly. You can't just, you'd have to go hunt down 4 of those kind of panels or replace them all.
Yeah,
right?
Or I almost wonder if, like, some of these, because, it's been so many years, if that producer doesn't even make those panels anymore and there's just no replacement parts or anything like that for them.
You can interchange panels.
We can.
Yeah.
all right.
All they produce on electricity is either DC or AC. Now you have to create strings, so you might only be able to put, you might have to get rid of a few to put the old panels on a string. You're not gonna, I mean, you could, but you wouldn't necessarily want to, put them on the same string, possibly. So there's a lot of factors that go into it when you're looking at it. If you're doing AC systems and you got microinverters, so all the little things. That's why it's best to have one of our guys come out, take a look at the system, and like to your point, Menji, some of the older panels. I mean, even when we started in 15, which is just a little under 10 years ago, we were putting 185 watt panels on, and now I can get 440 watt panels.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
amazing.
the footprint is just significantly different. But they will work forever and ever and ever. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward thing. I mean, they do degrade, the silicon degrades. But it's not like a motor where there is a moving thing that wears out.
Right.
Now, is there anything like, and I don't have no idea, but when Apple comes out with a new computer, I'm able to trade in like an old computer. Is there anything like that for like solar, where it's like, here are some older panels, can I get any credit for these, or is it just recycling?
Yeah, and actually, it's even really hard to recycle them. It's just
You're in California, dude. Yeah. Right.
This market is just actually, I see it because it's going to be pretty big moving forward, right? You get people that might move in, might have significantly different usage, right? You have a retired couple selling their house and a family moving in, completely different usage. So they put one size system on. Now the new system needs to be significantly bigger. And then you got the upgrading panels. People might go, well, shoot, I don't like having 4,000 panels all over my roof. Hey, let's do 10 of the 440s on the back and upgrade the system. So we just did our first couple, and it was a challenge to get away from, because you can't just throw them in the landfill, right? Because the silicon needs to, it's got to be recycled.
I can't even imagine. I just get, with all the regulations and what have you, I can't even imagine. And then, I was fixing a roof tile this weekend, thinking about you. Yeah. Well, the wind is coming, the rain is coming, and I just figured, okay, I'd do a quick walk around. I got some loose tiles. I'm already starting something with you guys, so I'll report on that when we get done with it. But
Awesome.
I was seeing some of the tiles that were loose, and getting up there and driving some nails in. But I noticed, like, along the edge, you had a couple of tiles that had nails in them, and a lot of them didn't.
Oh.
And I don't know if that was, I can't imagine they all just kind of shimmied out and fell to the floor. But those are things you need to look at, and then call a guy like you and say, hey, this doesn't look right to me.
Right.
But now's the time to get ready for it. People always wait till the water starts dripping down the ceiling and go, hey, maybe I should have called August Roofing a while back. I don't know about that. But now's the time to do it. And then I want to harp on that because I'm amazed. I'm one of those guys where she had the problem, so I started calling a couple of friends of mine. Nobody has ever thought, or the ones that called it to me, have really ever thought to have somebody come and say, hey, just do a whole roof and solar inspection and tell me what you think.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and I mean, for me, as a realtor, I would have been promoting that I have solar in this house, right? It's got to be worth a couple $100 a month, right? So would be, a value to the new owner. So.
Well, most people don't even know to what we're talking about. I don't even know what to do with it. I would just probably assume that it's tied into the system, and like I told you, we get electricity off the solar panels, and then I would have just assumed that.
Yeah.
But really should have somebody like you come in, sit down, and say, okay, here's your cup of coffee. Talk to me. I don't even know how to use this thing. I don't know if it's working. I don't know anything about it. So it's a way for people to understand. All right. We got to get rolling here.
Okay.
How do they find you? I don't mean at the coffee shop.
Yeah, AugustRoofing.com. There's a form on there you can fill out, and we'll get a project consultant out to take a look at your situation.
That is so easy. They can't make it much easier than that. Anyway, Chris, always learn so much when you're in here with me, and I do appreciate it. So thanks for being